For this class, we're going to be talking about our different solutions for 9R series tractors. Not only the new and exciting 9RX tractor we're featuring here today, but also our wheel and our 2-track solutions. Now, going through this class, we really want to show you, as the dealer, how to train our customers on what is the right choice and give them the opportunity to find them the best solution for their customer. Now, one thing we also want to think about today is a lot of this material that we're going to be covering in these 9R classes is going to be available on the Customer Clinic and Events Materials website. On this website, you can find a lot of links, presentations, and instructions to do ride and drives and demos at your dealership. Now, one of the first things we want to do when talking to customers is really identifying what they need as a 9R solution. Is it that 2-track? Is it that wheel, or is it that 4-track? Now, really qualifying those customers and really identifying their customer needs will help you find the best solution for them as a customer. Now, do they need that 2-track? Do they need that 4-track? Or maybe they're trying to decide between a wheel or that 2-track. Or maybe they're really trying to identify what the best articulated tractor solution is for them. So they would have to go with a wheel or a 4. Now, when looking at those different machine forms, you also need to think about really what their primary concerns are, what their customer needs are. So when you look at that footprint and flotation and what their importance of really soil compaction and soil disturbance might be. And also thinking about getting power to the ground. What it might be the most efficient drive system to get them the power that they need to go through the field. Now, maybe they're worried about berming going down the field. What is the right solution for them? And one of the last things to think about also is maneuverability. And that soil disturbance, turning under load, maybe side hill control, straight line pulling, or really what their turning radius really is. Right choice solution for them. Now, when we think about right choice, it's all about what those machine characteristics are. One of those characteristics has to do with ride quality. Now, when you think of our 3 solutions for our 4-wheel drive tractors, we have an exclusive, industry exclusive feature for each one. If you look at the 9R wheel, we have Active Seat. Been out for a couple years now, but still an important customer qualifier to get them the best ride in that wheel solution. If you look at the 2-track solution, you have your air cushion suspension. That's going to get you over 13 inches of travel between those 2 tracks to really get them the best ride quality in the field and going down the road. Now, a new feature we have for the 9RX is cab suspension and really giving the customer the best comfort going through the field. Now, like we said, we need to identify what those customer needs are, what's important to them to really find them the best machine configuration for them. So we kind of put together some characteristics that you might want to review with him. So if you look at lowest purchase price, what do you think that lowest purchase price machine configuration might be? Well, it's actually going to be your wheel solution. If you look at that wheel solution, it's going to be about 12 to 14% less than your 2-track and 24 to 31% less than that 4-track solution when looking list price to list price. Now, when we think about track durability, I'm going to give you a hint. It's not our wheel solution. It's actually our 2-track. Now, with that 2-track solution, what we want to think about is the amount of heat that is being created in those tracks. If you think about a 2-track and how much heat's being created compared to a 4-track, it's doing less revolutions around, and it's going to have a longer belt, so it's creating less heat. A longer belt, less heat equals longer track life and durability. Now, when you think about ballast flexibility, when you think about the different solutions and different configurations for that, we need to think about each individually. When you think about our 4-track, it's pretty much comes standard. You can't add any ballast to that tractor. So that's probably not at the top of your list. If you look at your 2-track solution, you still have those heavy track components. You do have a little bit of flexibility to add some weight, but you still have those components. Our wheel solution is going to be the best for ballast flexibility, as you can get the lowest from the factory weight and add the weight where you need it, when you need it, whether it's in the spring for planing or in the fall for tillage. The next one, we kind of talked about this on the last slide, but it's all of them. You don't have one specific tractor configuration that's really going to set itself apart from all the others, because they all have industry exclusive, best in class ride quality. When you look at our wheel, we just talked about our active seat that's been around a while. Then we have our 2-track with air cushion suspension and our 4-track with that cab suspension that's exclusive to our 4-track. Now turning under load. Now a big qualifier for customers looking for that 4-track solution. One of the main things and why guys purchasing the 4-track solution is looking for that machine characteristics to be able to pull that air seeder or anything else that they need to turn under load around a pothole, a slough, to really make sure that they have the power to the ground when they need it to keep going through the field. Now when we look at the next one, positive drive. Now when we look at our 2 different track systems, the positive drive system is going to be represented by our 4-track solution. Now with our 4-track solution, it's going to have that positive drive system. Now what we mean by that is you're usually using the actual lugs on the track system to drive the actual machine versus a friction drive system like on our 2-track that's going to go through the field through driven by friction. Actually going through, and those lugs are just a guidance for that machine. Then we look at maneuverability. With maneuverability, the one main thing that we're looking at is that 2-track solution. Your 4-track and your wheel are going to be relatively similar on maneuverability, but when you get that 2-track solution, you can turn on a dime because of that 2-track drive system. Side hill control. One of the more important things, maybe out west going through the hills, side hill control is going to be the best solution with that 4-track tractor. If you think about it, what's going to give you that control is that overall footprint of your tracks on the ground. So if you have with that 4-track, you have 24% larger footprint with a 4-track compared to a 2, and then a 76% larger footprint with a 4-track compared to a wheel. So just reviewing and getting that side track control is going to be with that 4-track solution. Now if we keep on going down the list here, we have a efficient friction drive system. We talked a little bit about it a second ago, but that friction drive system is really going to be ridden by that 2-track solution. With the 2-track solution, it's going to really provide you the most efficient pull to the ground, and because you're only turning 1 axle instead of 4 with the 4-track or 2 axles with your wheels. So when you look at resale value, with the resale value, you're really looking at the total overall market for the 4-wheel drives. Now the initial purchase price might be the lowest on the wheel solution, but the wheel solution will have the best resale value. Because when you look at that solution in the market industry, it's going to be about 75% of the overall market compared to the other 2 solutions that's going to make up the remaining 25%. Now, the next one might be pretty easy to figure out, tire flexibility. Now there's a lot that actually goes into tire flexibility when you look into the actual solution. With tire flexibility, you have the option to go with duals, triples, or even a new characteristic or a new feature with IF tires, increased flexion. Now with increased flexion, you're basically lowering the pressure on those tires to get a bigger footprint on the ground to reduce compaction. Now, being able to do that might be able to steer that customer to that wheel solution, maybe with hydro cushion, compared to getting that increased purchase price of 24 to 31% with that 2-track. Now, when we look at straight line pull, with straight line pull, the most efficient way to get the power to the ground is going to be with that 2-track. The efficiency of that friction drive, like we said, it's only turning 1 axle versus 2 or 4 with our other configurations. Now the next one we talk about is less berming with tracks. We talked about it a little bit. Now with the positive with maneuverability with the 2-track system is also a negative for berming on the 4-track system. On a 4-track system, you're going to have the less berming when you go through the field because you're not going to be turning on a dime creating those berms. Now narrow configuration. You're going to be able to get under 10 feet wide, about 9 foot, 10 inches with that 4-track solutions, giving you the narrowest configuration when you're going down, whether it's the field or going down the road. Now the last one we want to talk about is total cost of operation. That has to think about the total cost of what goes into you owning that tractor. Now when you look at what's going to be the best for that, that's going to be that wheel solution. When you look at the wheel, it has not only the lowest initial purchase price, but also when you look at the maintenance and upkeep that is required with our 2-track and our 4-track system, that's going to play into that cost of ownership. So really think about when you're qualifying these customers, what is the right solution for them? What is their overall goal and need that they're looking for? Now, an activity that we'd like to walk you through real quick is thinking about some different customer scenarios. And really, you might know the answers to these. They might be pretty easy, but we want you to start thinking about what these characteristics are and how do we qualify these customers for the right solution. So the first one we want to think about is customer scenario number 1. With this customer, we have a row crop farmer. He's in corn at 30-inch spacing, seeking a 350 to 450 horsepower tractor. Now, when we look at this, his primary concerns are row crop spacing, pulling a high-speed planer, soil compaction, ballast adjustability, and that overall initial purchase price. Now, when you think about that for a second, the 2 key points that we want to point out is he's looking for ballast flexibility and that initial purchase price. Now, remember when we look back at ballast adjustability, 4-track's not going to give you any adjustability because it's come as is. 2-track will give you a little bit of adjustability, but it still has those heavy track components. So the ballast flexibility one goes to wheel on that one. And we talked earlier about the overall initial purchase price is going to be lowest on that wheel solution, with 12 to 14% less than that 2-track and 24 to 31% less than that 4-track. When we look at customer scenario number 2, we're thinking a customer that has small grains farmer in Saskatchewan, seeking about 550 horsepower plus for seeding applications. Now, he's looking at flotation as one of his primary concerns, but also at traction with his seeding and air cart in wet conditions. Now, we said earlier about the one customer qualifier that really stands out with that 4-track. That's turning under load. So the solution that he needs in configuration is going to be that 4-track solution. When we look at customer scenario number 3, we look at a row crop farmer in Nebraska. He's doing a large amount of strip till, and he's seeking a 500 horsepower plus tractor. His primary concerns are excellence and auto track accuracy, flotation, and traction in loose sandy soils. Now, you can probably do a couple different options when you look at that first bullet point, because he's looking to excel in auto track accuracy. We have excellent auto track accuracy in all our equipment, but flotation, when you think of that, that's probably going to be your 9RT, your 2-track solution, to get them the best solution for him going forward. Now you look at customer scenario number 4. We're thinking about a dairy farmer in Wisconsin. He's looking for about 500 horsepower plus to really pack the silage. His primary concerns is flexibility, so he can also use it for fall tillage, ballast adjustability, so that he can reduce compaction in the spring, but once again, get that more traction in the fall, straight line pulling, and mounting a blade, and then maybe some concerns he has with power hop. Now, when you think of these different solutions, a couple of these different configurations probably play into what he's really looking for. But the one we're really going to point out is probably the wheel solution for them, as we look at ballast adjustability to get him the best solution and configuration for him. But maybe also this customer might be a fleet customer. He might have 2, maybe 3 4-wheel drives. So he might be able to utilize a 2-track for straight line pulling, and then a wheel tractor for that ballast adjustability and the solution to take care of that power hop issues. So we go through these customer scenarios not because there's one answer for each of them, but to really get you thinking on what do my customer needs, what do I need to ask them, and what are their primary concerns to get them the best configuration possible. Now, when we talk about power hop, one of the things that we introduced back in model year 15 was something called Hydro Cushion. Now, as we go and think about Hydro Cushion, with Hydro Cushion, it's going to be a suspension system on our 9R wheel tractors. Now, if you look at this video that's playing right now, he has turned Hydro Cushion in max mode. Now, you can see when he starts bouncing around here on this test tractor, he's bouncing around pretty intensely for that. Now he's going to engage Hydro Cushion, and you can see it mitigates the power hop right out of the machine. Not only does it take care of that power hop, but it also helps with road lope in mitigating that as you're going down the road as well. So as we think about all these different things that we talked about today, why is this important to understand for my customers? Why do we care? Well, we all know that the farm economy is changing. Commodity prices have gone down, and it might not be as easy to go out and sell these four-wheel drive tractors. Now with this, we need to make sure that we're really taking care of our customers and identifying what is the best solution for them. It is really our obligation as John Deere company and as John Deere dealers to figure out what that best solution is for them and really ask the questions that are important to them to really get them the right configuration. So as you can see, when you think of John Deere, you can have the right choice. Because not only do you have this brand new 9RX that we have sitting behind me, but we also have the wheel and two-track solution that can provide our customers the best tractor in the industry.